Hi, hey, Happy Tuesday! Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope your Tuesday's going well. Hi, Say! Hi, let's get this cheese. Let's go. Now, I'm trying to decide if I want to decorate my house right now or if I want to just continue on with the puzzles. But let's chat while I decorate a house, huh? Anyways, how have you guys been? How was your weekend? Did you guys do anything fun? All right, I think because this is my entrance, I should make it like a lobby, right? Like a foyer. I always pronounce foyer as like foyer. I need a shoe rack, so I think the shoe rack can go here. Good weekend. Your kiddo made a last spot for a release event to get a new One Piece card. Nice! We love that. Oh, these are like support beams and stuff. Okay, I get it. What do people... I'm not rich enough to have a foyer. I don't know what people usually put in their foyer. My house, any home I've ever been in, like the foyer is usually connected to like the living room. So maybe this can be living room. I don't know how big this house is though. Maybe just 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, there's also this, isn't there? Yeah, there is. Oh, my bad. That wasn't even the foyer. Main room. You were getting nervous because they were called so many names before theirs was called. That's so lucky though, the fact that you got in. Last spot too! Oh my god, the anxiety. Okay. This is the main room. What does the main room mean? Hold on. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go back to puzzles. Doing puzzles is easier than trying to decorate a house, in my humble opinion. Hi, Weiss! It's been so hot. I have been okay. I've been really tired. Because after my vacation, I didn't really have a break after that. I went straight into like another like event prep, which meant I was basically doing like a 12-hour whatever every single day to prep for an event type of situation. It was fun though. Everything went well. We had fun. And then, of course, as soon as like the event was done, my parents decided that they wanted like a family thing. And that's why we ended up on a mountain. So very busy but fun. Yes. So that's kind of like how the best days are, in my opinion. So the days that are like really busy, but then they still turn out well. Those days are great. But you can bet I was trying to do my best to get like the best night's sleep possible. How did I get left behind in the mountain? Okay, right. So so basically what happened was we wanted to have a family day, which I was completely okay with. My family tends to like plan things pretty loosely. We don't really go in with a plan as much as I would like to, mainly because of like work scheduling and stuff. So my parents have been trying to take more time off now that they're getting older, which I really, really appreciate. I love spending time with them. So they were like, hey, so let's just have a family day. And we were like, oh, okay, right. As soon as we're back from our vacation, all right. So what are we doing? And they said we were gonna be, you know, doing a myriad of things. I didn't realize we were gonna be doing it all on the same day. So there was blueberry picking. We went blueberry picking. That was really fun. Usually we go berry picking every year. But I feel like we tend to have like we tend to have it later on in the day, so like around noonish is when we would go. But I guess this day was gonna be so jam-packed that we went like first thing in the morning. So I thought I was gonna have more time to prep, but no, it was wake up and then we gotta get out. So we went out, we went berry picking, which is really nice, you know. It was kind of like mindless. I was trying last year. I feel like they were bigger. The berries from last year were bigger, but they were still really sweet. So I didn't realize they were really sweet at first. I just thought, like, you know, the bigger berries were gonna be sweeter. So I was doing my best to, like, you know, pick them one by one, pick the biggest ones, and then I ate a small one. Like, usually small ones are sour, but I had a small one and it was really sweet. And I was like, why am I picking just the big ones? I should just pick them all. So I just started shaking the branches into my bucket. I would just pull a branch down gently. Gotta be gentle with those branches. And I would just shake them into my bucket and hope that I would get a lot of blueberries. It worked out. And we got a lot of blueberries. They were very good. Hi, Sire. And then we were barely an hour and a half in when my dad was like, we gotta go. And I was like, why? What's the rush? Let us have our blueberries, dude. But turns out it's because he wanted to take us to, like, basically, like, I don't know if it counts as like it's not a national park, it's more like a provincial park. You know, it had a little beach and everything. So I was like, oh, you could have told us we were going. I didn't know we were going, right? So we paid for our blueberries and then we headed out. And I was really tired because once we got to the park, we had to like hike up a little bit, which I was okay with. You know, I've done a couple of hikes in my life. But once we got there, they were basically like, kind of like at the peak, there were like these three massive rocks. I want to say peak, but it's not really a peak considering it's by an ocean. But there were three massive rocks and I just kind of climbed on one and I laid down and I kind of zoned out, kind of fell asleep on the rock. Honestly, 10 out of 10 would recommend. If you guys have the chance to like just fall asleep on a giant rock by an ocean when it's nice and sunny, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Hi, Beetle. Yes. It was kind of funny because, like I said, I was kind of like dozing off, half asleep. And then I just hear like steps behind me. And I thought it was my sister. I was like, huh, are we going yet? And then I look up and there's a giant seagull just staring at me and I almost screamed. I almost screamed and then I thought I was hallucinating because seagulls are scary. I know there's like a whole thing about like the Canadian military being our Canadian geese, but seagulls are just as scary. You don't realize they're scary. I've seen tourists who have been on the beach and they don't realize it until their entire pizza's gone. Like I've seen tourists open like a box of pizza on the beach and then they blink and a seagull is taking off with their entire large pizza. So be careful with your pizza. So I kind of freaked out just a little bit, but I think the seagull was just as freaked out because it flew away really quickly and I was like, darn it, I could have had a nap buddy. You've seen seagulls open bags of chips? Really? I haven't seen that yet. To be honest, it was kind of fun. Last time, I don't usually go to the beach very much. But one time my friend and I went to the beach where it was known that there was a lot of seagulls. And we know the reputation of the seagulls, but it was kind of fun, not gonna lie, watching these tourists be so excited to see seagulls and then watching their food get stolen. It kind of became like a little entertainment thing for us. Is that kind of mean? Yes. Did I have a great time? Also, yes. Like dinner and show? Exactly! Exactly that. But yeah, anyways, so here we are. Okay, I guess I kind of have to describe this a little bit. So it's like, imagine up here is kind of where the hike kind of ended. Like imagine right here, like we already hiked all the way over here. And then over here's the ocean with like the 3 giant rocks. And you have to kind of go down like a small cliff to get there. But everyone was down here where there's like a beach and 3 giant rocks. And people would get on top of the rocks, take pictures, walk around the beach. So once we got there, we had to like very gingerly climb our way down the cliff. And then once we got there, you know, my family was taking pictures. I was taking a nap in the center rock. I kind of felt bad because I'm sure if those tourists look back in their touristy photos, they would just see me collapsed on a rock. But I had a great time. That 10 out of 10 nap on the rock. But then eventually, you know, they were done taking their pictures. And then they didn't even warn me that they were leaving, right? I just heard them. They were on the other 2 rocks. Like none of them were with me at the time. It was just me on one rock and the rest of my family on like the other 2 rocks. Anyways, I kind of hear, and then I just kind of like wearily open my eyes to see my sister on the other rock, and I kind of call over. I'm like, are we going back? And she goes like, yeah. So I crawl off my rock, and I'm kind of like dozy, so I'm kind of like eepy, you know, a little slow, a little sluggish. But what I didn't realize is those guys, they were going fast. They were like Sonic. They got off that rock, they went right up that hill, and then I thought they were gonna wait for me like back up here, like where the hike ended, because there's like a little like a wooden, like not like a pier, but there was like a little like lookout spot, a little platform. So I thought they were gonna wait for me at the platform when I saw that they were gone. I got up there and there was no one there. So I had to go, okay, I gotta think about this clearly, right? There's no way they abandoned me. And I didn't have my phone. My phone was with my sister. She was looking out. She was holding my phone in her bag. I don't remember why. I don't remember why she had my phone and I didn't have my phone. But I was like, oh no. Did they leave without me? Or are they still down the cliff? I looked down the cliff, there's no one there. Because like I said, the beach is really, really small. I could kind of see everyone when I looked down. No one was there. And I'm kind of pacing, like, okay, what do I do? Right? Because I knew my way back to back down the hiking area, back to the car. I knew my way, but it's the whole thing of, should I go alone like that? So I kind of stood there for a little bit trying to think about what I should do. And then I was like, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna start walking. You know, if they left without me, then inevitably they'll get back to the car before me. So I just started walking. And then eventually I ran into my dad, and my dad looks... Honestly, I was kind of worried that my dad was going to be mad because he doesn't like it when one of us goes missing, like, understandably. But I was like, oh no, is he going to blame me for me not being there? But no, I think he just found it really funny. And then he held my hand the entire time walking back to my family. I was like, I didn't get lost. You guys abandoned me. Anyways, I was just a little bit salty about that. Because as soon as I met up with my family, they were like, where were you? And I was like, what do you mean, where was I? And my sister was saying stuff like, oh, wait, I told you we were leaving. It's like, yeah, you told me you were leaving, but you never... I didn't think you guys were gonna leave me behind. Usually when people say that we're leaving, it's like, okay, we're getting up to go, you know? Get ready to go. Not we're leaving as in, pew! Anyways, then we had dinner, and I ordered something I wanted to eat. We had Korean food. I ordered tteokbokki. I ordered like beef bulgogi tteokbokki. I don't do spicy, so I went with like a non-spicy tteokbokki, and I was kind of excited to eat it. However, once all the food arrived, I don't know what happened. Okay, I ordered one spicy dish because my aunt was there and she really likes spicy food. My family, not so much. So the spicy food was originally just gonna go in front of my aunt's, like, seat. But when the spicy food came, it landed in front of like my sister. And I was like, hey, so this is spicy. Do you want to switch this over with like another dish? And my dad, I feel like my dad didn't hear me because later he was like, oh, do you want to switch that over? And I was like, yeah, let's switch it over. And then he took my tteokbokki. He switched my tteokbokki with another dish. And I was like, no, stop, don't take my... But either they didn't hear me or they weren't paying attention, because after that, I didn't see my tteokbokki again. So much for getting a little treat for myself at dinner. It was certainly a series of unfortunate events. But I am proud to say that even if they had left me on that mountain, I would have been able to get down. But they owed me 30 treats. They didn't even... They didn't mention any of it. Okay, and okay, this part is a really gross. But I'm gonna mention it. Which is that when we got to the park, right? Some of us needed to go to the washroom. And the only washroom there was the porta potties. And I think I've gotten like a little bit... I don't think spoiled is the right word. Because I've been to some parks before, you know, I've been like up a mountain, I've been to like waterfalls and stuff, and anytime I needed to go to the washroom in those places, usually like even their porta potties were more like modern, as in you could still flush them. But this one you couldn't, and it was really gross. porta potty. Don't make a pun with porta potty. No. But yeah, I think I was like expecting a toilet that could flush, but these were like the old school porta potties that didn't flush, so they all like all the waste just kind of sat there. And I think that was like my brother's first time seeing one of those porta potties. Yeah, it smelled so bad. I wonder how often they actually clear those out. Cause if you've seen you know the what's that show called? Like Dirty Jobs? Like you would know that they do clean those out. Like they're supposed to clean those out and everything. But I wonder how often, especially if it's like a provincial park, I would expect them to like clean it out more often. But then again, I don't want to know how much human waste can be made in like an hour or so. But yeah, my sister's a little bit of a germaphobe, so throughout that entire time, she's been feeling like she needed to like burn her clothes as soon as she was done. Because after we were done the hike, we had to walk past the porta potties again. And of course, the moment we walked by, as soon as I walked by, because I was walking in front of the pack, as soon as I walked by, someone opened the door to it, and it's like the entire area just reeked. It just smelled so bad. Sorry, that was a little TMI, but hey, we've all been in one, right? But yeah, those things are why, like, stuff like that is why I always bring like hand sanitizer and stuff with me everywhere. Because it's just so gross. If it's really hot. Yes! Oh my god! I always do my best to not like, if I ever have to go in one of those, I always do my best to not touch it. And then even then I feel like I need to douse my hands with like hand sanitizer. Ugh. Because here's the thing, my brother went in first, right? He went into the washroom first, and then when he came out, I was like, did you sanitize your hands? And he's like, no. And I was like, why not? He was like, there is none. I was like, what do you mean there is none? Because like I said, all of the porta potties I've been to, like in recent times, they all had at least like a little sanitizer, whatever. But even then, even if they have like their own sanitizer thing, I don't trust it, so I always use my own. But I was like, well, what do you mean there's none? And he's like, there is none. I was like, yeah, like a little wash station. And I was like, okay. But so I held out my hand sanitizer and I was like, hold out your hands because you flushed the toilet, right? He goes, no. And I was like, what do you mean no? No, because I couldn't flush the toilet. I was like, what do you mean? My poor brother. Well, I would say my poor brother, but I just poor all of us. I think the worst part is because when we park, we have to pay for parking, right? It was way too expensive in my humble opinion, but we had to pay for parking, and the little like pay station was right next to the porta potties, and my dad and my uncle were dilly-dallying the whole time, like discussing like, oh, do you think we should park there? Like, do you think there's another place closer that we can park? And I'm just here dying because I'm like, Stop. Just can we just? I don't care where you park. Do you mind if we just pay and move away from this area? Can you discuss? Hey, can you guys discuss where you're parking after we pay? Thank you very much. So then we ended up paying for my uncle's, and then like a closer spot opened up, and my dad was like, "Oh, I want to park there," and he runs off, and I'm like, "I'm not standing here any longer," and I just went ahead and I paid for parking. I was like, I'm not standing here waiting for him to finish parking his car and then waiting for him to punch in the code and everything. I'm paying right here right now because, you know, it's a park. It doesn't have like stall numbers. I just have to punch in the license plate. Portable toilets need greater sanitation. Yes. Isn't that how a bunch of like diseases in started? Poor sanitation, you know? People weren't washing, people weren't whatevering. Washing paws is one of the greatest methods of disease prevention. Yes. Wash your paws or else. I don't care who you are, you will be washing your paws. Oops. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, my week has been really busy. It's been fulfilling, but it's been busy. I had fun. In these past like 2 weeks, I've been to a couple of like anime events. So that was really fun. I got to see a lot of cosplayers, a lot of here's the thing, whenever I go to like anime like conventions and events like cup sleeves and stuff, I actually don't usually buy a lot. I'm usually there for the vibes. So sometimes I guess some people can see it as like a waste of money if I go somewhere and then like I don't like participate fully in like artist alleys and stuff. But artist alley, I love looking around. I love looking around artist alley. Like if I see something I like, then I'll you know, I'll think about buying it. But I'm there a lot for like the vibes. Because I love seeing passionate people. And Artist Alley is a great place to see really passionate people. The atmosphere, yeah, it's it can get a little overstimulating, but it's also really fun. Like sometimes I'll end up going to like a convention, for example, and I'll think that I'm gonna leave with like a lot of stuff, but then I'll get home and I'll look at my haul and I'm like, what do you mean I only got 2 prints and like some stickers? It's also so much fun talking to those people. Like, let's see, what kind of cosplays have I seen? So much Haikyuu. Also, there have been a lot of cup sleeves happening. And like the annoying thing is, well, I guess it's not annoying because it's summer. Summer is when all like anime conventions and cup sleeves and stuff happen, right? But I guess the annoying thing is when you realize there are multiple happening at the same time. Like if you go to an Alien Stage cup sleeve event and then you look across the street and you'll see someone wearing like Haikyuu cosplay and you're like, why are they wearing Haikyuu cosplay? And it turns out they're going to a Haikyuu cup sleeve event. It's like, what? What else? And then, but yeah, there's a lot of anime events coming up or have already happened. I plan to go to do I plan to go to those ones? Maybe. I may be thinking about going to a couple more. I'll have to see what my schedule is like. But it's so much fun, especially when you see people cosplaying as things that aren't as popular anymore. I once saw this older lady. It was very sweet. She was like an older lady and she was dressed up as Kaede from Inuyasha, and oh my god, I fangirled so hard over her. I basically kind of like screamed across the room. I was like, Kaede! And she turned around and she was the sweetest woman. And then there were so many cool cosplays. Isn't that so cool? And then some other older anime cosplays that I've seen recently. Yeah, I saw like well, not a full squad. They were missing Lena Lee, but the squad of D Gray Man. Oh my god. But there's also something to be said about like not knowing someone's name and you just scream out their cosplay. So, for example, the Gray Man squad, they were about to walk by and I was like, I can't let them walk by, so I just yelled out, Alan! and he turned around. It's like, there could have been so many Allens, but that's when you know that they've basically embodied their character. When they have such like a common name, but then they'll still turn around. Yes. Oh, another thing about anime conventions and like anime events is that you start seeing like ships that have no right being ships. I saw a member of the Naruto Akatsuki holding hands with the Princess Peach. And I was like, yep, that checks out. Or like seeing Kakashi from Naruto holding hands with the Vocaloid Rin. That made me laugh. In the end, I was trying to basically see like what the craziest pairing I could find was. I think Princess Peach and Akatsuki was pretty good. Water. I did, after one of those events, I did have to, I was Ubering home, and I did have to kind of explain to the Uber driver what the heck was going on. Because this poor driver didn't know anything about anime or these type of conventions. So the entire conversation was just, so everyone dresses up? It's like, well, no, not everyone dresses up. But like, you can if you want. It's like, so... And he was like, so who dresses up? And I'm like, anyone can dress up. But what do they dress up as? Anything really. Whatever they're a fan of, they can dress up. Yeah, summer's great. I did have to, I felt really bad for this, but I did have to miss one anime event to go to another one. Even though my friend was performing at one of them, and I had to miss that one. But she told me about it too late. I was like, I can't, hurry, have tickets to the other one. She was very understanding. But I'll go to her next one. Oh no. Do you guys plan to go to any events yourselves? Or are you guys do you guys have summer plans? I know like summer's like half over, but do you guys have summer plans? I honestly didn't expect myself to have so many plans. I thought this was going to be another summer for me of just cruising by, but nope. You usually only go to those events on. Honestly, that's me as well. I don't usually like going places with like just by myself. I like someone to fangirl with. But that's also mainly because of my my social ineptitude. Your summer plans. Yes, welcome back, Sure. Welcome back anyone who went on vacation, really. Vacations are tiring. I'm so tired. I don't know why I thought I was going to be more well-rested after this. That was a lie. Anytime my coworkers ask me, how was your vacation? My answer is always, I'm so tired. I'm so glad to be home. But even then, I know that my summer's not over yet. I'm so tired. But it's also one of those things where if a friend invites me to go out, I don't want to say no, because summer is also one of those only times that I can hang out with those friends because, you know, it's like the whole scheduling situation. If they're only free during summers and they ask me to hang out, yeah, I want to hang out. I love hanging out with my friends. So if the only time I can get you is working my way around a summer calendar, that's what I'll do. It's August. It's over. Honestly, I was ready to just roll right off all of August. Just write the entire month off. Just a vacation to visit family that you already went on. Yeah, I hope you had a good time. You went to sleep as soon as you got back and you're still sleepy even after the night's rest. Turns out jet lag for half a day isn't how the body's supposed to function. I guess I'm lucky in a way that my sleep schedule was already really messed up. Like, it can't get worse than this. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. I don't need my body to go bet. Oopsie. Nice. Okay. Sometimes you do wonder how you filled your time when you had a month-long summer break as a student. Oh my gosh, I feel the same way. Honestly, that's how I feel about a lot of things. Like, when I was transitioning from secondary school to post-secondary school, I thought that I would be able to fill my schedule like I did when I was still in secondary, which means like, oh, just take all my classes back to back. What am I like? Why should I take a break between my classes? You know, I should just wake up at 7 in the morning. Well, I guess not 7. Just wake up at 6 something in the morning, and then just head to school, take back to back classes, and then head home in the afternoon. You know, that was honestly what high school me thought that my post-secondary life was gonna be like. And then post-secondary happened, and I was like, wait, I can make my own choices. I don't have to wake up at 6 something. I can take a later class. And then I started taking later classes. And then I think back like, how did I do this as a student? And then same with what you're talking about in summer, right? Like, I don't know. At least I mean, I work, so that takes up a lot of my time already. So honestly, I was expecting my entire summer to just be me working. Even at the tail end of your vacation when you didn't do much, you were so bored. I think my brother went through that a couple of years ago. Because he had summer vacation and then he also didn't have camp. He didn't have any extracurriculars. So he was so excited to start his summer break. But then by like August, I could tell he was really, really, really bored. Because then we were all working or going to school ourselves and we couldn't like hang out with him. Which meant all he could do was hang out with like grandma, grandpa, my parents. So then the next year we signed him up for camp. Signing kids up for camp is hard. Like those wait lists aren't kidding. Those wait lists are brutal. So we signed him up for camp and then we started him on a couple of extracurriculars. Yeah. One, two. I'm looking forward to going on. I shouldn't say I'm looking forward to going on vacation because I feel like sometimes vacation isn't really for me. I feel like sometimes I don't have the whimsy for it. That makes sense. I guess the reason why I don't have whimsy for vacation is because I'm usually the one who's like dealing with all the logistics. Whenever we go on a trip, like my family could be like, we want to go to this waterfall, and I'll be like, okay. And then I'll have to deal with trying to figure out how we're gonna get there. So I guess that kind of like ruins the whimsy a little bit. But I would love to go on vacation with my parents. I've actually never really gone on a proper vacation with them. Go by myself without my family tagging along. I don't like going on vacation by myself though. Well, then again, I've never actually been on a vacation by myself. Maybe I'd be really good at it. No, I want to go with friends, I think. I don't like honestly, I don't like being the planner. When you gotta do all the planning. I wouldn't say I'm like a planning person. Like, for example, when I went to China last year, my dad arranged everything because, you know, he knew China inside out, basically. Also, hi, Junk. So he arranged that. And like we were in China for a purpose, so there was nothing I could really admit. But then this time when I was on vacation with my sisters, they dealt with all of the itinerary. They dealt with the itinerary, and then they basically just handed the itinerary to me, and I basically handled our accommodations and travel. Yeah, I dealt with all that. I don't like dealing with it. If I'm going on vacation, I want to be the brainless one. Let me be head empty. Let Kiriko be head empty. 2K26. 27. You're never the planning person when doing vacations either. You don't think you would do a good job of it. I don't like being the planning person, but at the same time, my anxiety also tells me to be the planning person. If you know, you know. I do have one friend who is very type A, so going on vacation with her is really easy because I just need to show up. That's the friend I'm going on vacation with for a weekend. She's always really busy, so I'm just grateful for any time I can spend with her. I want to be passenger princess. Okay, but it is really funny because that type A friend, like I said, she's, she plans everything. I just need to show up and we'll just have a great time. But the payoff is that she won't let me rest. I'm not a passenger princess when it comes to her. Anytime I go on a vacation with that friend, I'm like her passenger jester. Because I think there was this one time we were supposed to go on a road trip together, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so tired. I think I might just like sleep for most of until we reach our destination." She's like, "No, what do you mean you're gonna sleep? You're not gonna sleep. You're gonna listen to this podcast with me and talk to me." I'm like, "What do you mean?" But yes, passenger jester. But you know what? It's not a bad payoff for having not to think about anything. That's what a cruise is for, head empty vacation. My dad keeps telling me to go on a cruise. I think it's because when he was younger, he went on a cruise and he really enjoyed it. So I think he really wants me to go on a cruise. I've noticed, why do people go on cruises to Alaska so much? I feel like anytime like someone's like, "Oh, I went on a cruise," it's always like a cruise to Alaska. Like, what is there to do in Alaska? Like, why Alaska? But I also hear that the Wi-Fi on cruises and stuff is really expensive. A cruise? You mean those floating quarantine disasters? Oh my gosh. Oh god. I've heard so many horror stories about, like, cruises. Did you guys hear about the one where someone got stuck in the elevator shaft? It's really gruesome. So maybe you don't wanna hear it. I was actually talking to my coworker about this today, but sometimes my workplace does these, like, little, like, staff highlights where they'll pick, like, a random staff member to put in, like, our staff newsletter, where they'll answer some questions like, "Oh, what's a piece of media you enjoyed lately?" And my coworker and I, we're like, "We enjoy stuff like crime documentaries." Should we be saying that on, like I haven't been chosen, and I hope I don't get chosen. Mm, The Last Frontier. Yes. Um, but yeah, I hear a lot of, like, cruise thingies. My sister went on a cruise once, and I think she had a good time, I think. Jury's out on that one. 1, 2, 1. I guess a cruise would be nice. I think after my sister went on her cruise, my friend was like, "We should go on a cruise," and then that just never lifted off the ground. You know that, trend where people say stuff like, "The trip made it out of the group chat," or whatever? I don't even have a group chat. Sometimes it's just me and one other friend, and the trip still doesn't make it out of the chat. Oh, wait, no, where did my sister go on a trip to? I don't remember. I know my mom wants to go to Disney one day. I wanna take her to Disney. I think that's kind of been her dream, is to go to Disney. I don't know which one. What's a good Disney to go to? Because I know there's, like, Disney World, and then there's the Disney whatevers, but there's also the Disney cruises. I don't think I wanna take my mom on a Disney cruise. First things first, my mom gets, like, motion sick. She gets, like, car sick and stuff, so I don't think, like, a cruise would be a good idea. But I do wanna take her one day because she's talked about it for quite a long time, and I might as well do it when I'm living under her roof and therefore don't have that many expenses. Uh, so many plans sit in the group chat waiting to be explored. It's always, "We should do this one day." Yeah, 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 yeah. Anyway, check out this other reel. Do you guys have a bucket list of, like, things you just want done or, like, you want to do in your future? Because I find that I don't think I really have one. You have some things sort of, but not written down. Yeah, I find that a lot of people don't write down their bucket lists. Just a mental list. Yeah, I think, for me, it's also kind of like, a mental note of places. Go to see Hawaii. Skydive! Oh, you're braver than me. I can do amusement park rides, but I don't think I can ever do skydiving. Go to Weebland, see famous libraries. Famous libraries are so cool. You know what's just as cool? Art museums. I love going to art museums. There was this one art museum I went to, um, it had, like, an exhibition that was, like, um what was it? It was kinda stuff, like, throughout the ages or whatever, like, art styles throughout the ages. So it would start off with, like, the Roman era where everything was more I don't know, it was something something, and then it moved on to another era where things got more, like, realistic and everything was more like, religious, and then, it moves on to, um, like, realism to, impressionism to surrealism. So it was taking me through all these different periods of art history, and then it was all really, really cool, and then I hit, like, the postmodern era. Or like the modern era, the postmodern era, the the time in history when everything becomes more, white and plastic. Because they also have these different rooms of what, like, bedrooms and stuff would look like in different, like, settings. So this would be what a child's bedroom would look like in, like, a normal family child's bedroom would look like in the Victorian era. You can see here is the wardrobe, and they would have, like, actual pieces, and then you would get to, "Ah, yes, and here we have the electric stove with its plastic handle for pulling open the oven," or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, this is" after seeing, like, the Rococo era, the Baroque era, this is feeling kinda sad. You wanna be a bird at least once in your opinion, as long as you have 3 parachutes, maybe you'll be okay. You still gotta double check, okay? Like, if you go, make sure you're double checking everything. Make sure you have the right backpack on, okay? I saw this one story, not to scare you, of, like, this guy who was, like I was watching, like, one of those compilation videos of, like, you know, last pictures before someone died, and, like, there was this one guy who was gonna go skydiving, and he was, like, super excited, but then turns out he grabbed the wrong backpack. He should have had I don't remember what happened with his spare chute, but he should have had a spare one, but he didn't or something, and then he had accidentally grabbed the wrong backpack that had his camera equipment in it, and, that's why that's why he ended up on that video. So, yes, make sure if you guys go skydiving and stuff, make sure to double check your gear. Though I'm sure that if you're going skydiving for the first time, you're going to have, like, an instructor strapped to you. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Like, they backpack you. At least it'll be cool. You know what? Yeah, you're right. The backpack you grab will have carrots in it. No, not the carrots. Save the carrots. Oh, Beetle, you wanna go alone. You wanna do a solo jump. Do you want to? Yes. Will you ever? Probably not. You're too scared. Would I? I don't know. If you ever skydive, it would be with another dude attached. I'm pretty sure I saw that if, like, you've never skydived before, you're supposed to have, like, another dude attached to you. You must flip in the air and not follow proper code. But make sure if you do that, you cross off everything else on your bucket list first. You can choose at the end of the day. Oh! Oh, you can choose. I guess that makes sense. You probably have to go in for, like, lessons beforehand then. Because when I went rock climbing, they don't just, like, let you rock climb, you have to learn how to, like, belay and everything before they let you rock climb, at least at my local, like, rock climbing place. They don't let you, they don't let you climb until you can prove that you can belay, so, they have to have a staff member watch you on, like, your first, you know, basically test you on your belay, like, at least once, and then once you can do it, they'll just sign you up for, their gym, and then you don't have to do the test again. So, before my friend and I were allowed started rock climbing, we actually took some classes at that gym to learn how to rock climb. My little noodle arms. My little noodle arms could never. Maybe the first one you will, depending on the price. Mhm, mhm. You would love to climb on those rock wall thingies? Yeah, rock climbing is fun. I've never gone bouldering. I don't think I would want to do bouldering. Bouldering scares me. I just think about, like, I don't know, either falling or I don't know, like slipping. I know there's some mat, but I don't know. I don't know. Bouldering is what you mostly do indoors at least, but outdoors is something you want to try. I think I had like a high school classmate that started bouldering and he got really good at it. You don't think you can handle heights of bouldering? You're scared of heights. Fun fact, going rock climbing saved my keys. Uh, I apparently one time I might have mentioned this story, but one time I actually lost my keys and I didn't realize it until I got a call while I was at work. They're like, "Hello, is this Kiriko?" And I'm like, "Yes, this is Kiriko." And they go, "Yeah, so FYI, you lost your keys." And I'm like, "Oh, oh no. Where can I pick it up?" Well, no. They were like, "Hi, this is your rock climbing gym." And I'm like, "Why is my rock climbing gym calling me?" And they're like, "You lost your keys." And I'm like, "How did my rock climbing place realize that I lost my keys? The heck?" So they're telling me, "Oh, go to your transit company's lost and found station." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll go do that." But I'm still really confused. Like, why was it that my wha who? What? Why is it that shouldn't if I dropped my keys on transit, shouldn't it be the transit people who are telling me that I lost my keys? So I was just really, 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 really confused. But anyways, I go pick up my keys, and of course, they haven't been delivered to the lost and found office yet. It usually takes, like, a day or 2 to get there. So, they're asking me for all this information, like, "Oh, um" I think it was like, "Oh, where oh, like, what does it look like? What attachments are on it? What blah, 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 blah." So I was telling them all of these things, like, "This attachment was on it, this keychain was on it, this" like, I don't have a lot of keychains. It's really simple. My keys are really, really simple, so I was actually worried I wouldn't get them back. So they said that they would call me once they get my keys in, or once they get something that seemed like my keys would come in. And then when it did come in, they called me. They were like, Kirko, I'm just confirming that your keys have, like, this keychain on it. It has, like, these keys, and, like, the keychain's really, really, really simple. Like, it's super simple." And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Are there any other identifiable features on it?" I'm like, "No, it's just those keychains." And they're like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "What are you, my teacher?" "What do you mean, am I sure?" "Yes, I'm sure." And they're like, "Huh." And I was like, "Wait, wait, no, my rock climbing tag is on it." And they're like, "There you go. Yeah, these are your keys." And I'm like, "Are you serious? That's what you were waiting for? Really?" And it's like, "I appreciate you looking out to make sure that those are the right keys, but are you serious?" So basically, from what I deduced, right? Because I actually called the gym back. I was like, "Hey, I'm just so curious. Like, why did you call me?" Turns out that the girl who found my keys went to the same rock climbing gym, recognized it, recognized the logo, and then called the gym, or like brought it into the gym and was like, "Hey, I found this. Do you know whose this belongs to?" And then they were able to pull up my information on their system because when you register, you put down the phone number, and then that's how they were able to contact me. And I was like, "That makes so much more sense." I was like, "Why the heck is my rock climbing gym calling me?" But also, shout out to that girl for doing all that detective work. She really didn't have to go and call up the gym or anything. She could have just handed it over to lost and found, and I would have never gotten that call. There are good people in the world. The map pads it all out. You have to purposely fall badly to hurt yourself. You underestimate my ability to hurt myself. Accidentally. But no, one of the things that we learned while learning how to, belay and everything was learning how to fall, because that is very important. You have to fall in a way that doesn't hurt you. When I first went climbing with my friend, she straight up told me to my face that she doesn't trust me. She was like, "I'm gonna be so real with you, I don't trust you." And I was like, "Don't worry, I don't trust me either. Me and my noodle arms, hello?" So there were, a couple of days where during the class where she'll look down at me and she's like, "I'm gonna see if I can trust you now." And I'm like, "What?" And then she'll let go. She'll let go, but luckily, I'm holding her really tight, okay? So nothing happened to her. And I think the nice thing is my friend and I, we're, like, similar heights. So, you know, belaying each other is fine. But I think there was this one time when the instructor, I don't remember what happened, but something like the instructor asked us to change partners, or, like, we had, like, one extra person. And then that one extra person, wait, did I tell you guys this? This one extra person, he was really, 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 really tall. He was really tall. And then when he was introducing himself to us, uh, he actually knelt down. He bent a knee to talk to us. I was like, "Stop, no, get up. This is embarrassing." Uh, do not. 'Cause, like, not only was he tall, but we are relatively short, and he was standing on top of a mat, which made him even taller. So the first time we met, he just kind of, like, he was like, "Oh, sorry," and then he kneels down. I'm like, "You know what? We'll just get up on the mat with you." That was really funny. No, not expert. I would not call myself an expert. An expert would be those people who do the rock climbing competitions, and then they have to race to see who can get up that mountain the fastest. Can't relate. Or, like, get up the wall the fastest. It's so impressive to me, like, as a, like, the human capability is very impressive to me. 'Cause it seems like now there are competitions for everything. Like rock climbing, it makes sense to have a competition for, but have you guys seen those, like the Excel competitions? Seeing who can use Excel the most efficiently? That's really cool. Or, the fireman Olympics, the housekeeping Olympics. You know, someone who does those competitions when you climb with him once, it was like he just walked literally, it's like it's like they're defying gravity. It's like they barely even touch the placement, and then they're on to the next one. It's so impressive. Anything can be if you try hard enough, yes. And to competitive people, everything's a competition. Uh, I just enjoy watching it. All these athletes in their element. Like I said, I really like seeing, like, really passionate people. Even so, seeing how passionate people are about, like, folding the perfect bed sheet. The commentators are also really funny because they commentate on everything. They'll say something along the lines of, "Oh, and there he goes, folding that corner. Oh, no, there's a slight crease. He didn't shake it out well enough, and now that's gonna cost him some points. He's gonna have to redo it. His opponent." It gets so intense. I love it. I really, really like the Excel Olympics. I always feel like I can learn something new from it. Do I remember what I'm learning? No. But is it really cool? Yes. Here's the thing. I say that passionate people are great, but I also feel that if I had to spend an entire day with someone who's always really passionate, I would get really tired out. Well, actually, no, I feel like a day out with someone really passionate would be fine. How long do I think I can my social battery will last? Hmm. These last couple of weeks really tested my social battery. Oh my god. I don't think I've ever had my social battery as low as I did these last couple of days. Mm, so I guess maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks of constant, hangouts. But, you know, there's also something to be said about I find my social battery recharging a bit more if I meet someone new, you know? If I was spending a whole bunch of time with, like, one friend, I feel that my social battery would, like, go down, but then if they then introduce someone new to me, my battery will perk up, like, 10%, and I'll be able to get through the day. Finding a good balance, yes. I'm still learning how to balance my own everything. But this week really tested my limits. These last 2 weeks, sorry, really tested my limits. Uh-oh, why does this one look difficult? Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. Okay. Okay, actually, maybe this one's not as hard as I'm making it out to be. This is 8. So, one it depends on what and how they express their passion that decides whether or not my battery. Yeah, that's fair, that makes sense. Okay, 4 and 4, 6, 7, 2, there, 7. Okay. I was actually pretty glad to be back at work after vacation. Gives, like, a little sense of normalcy. My coworker today actually asked me, "Don't you ever want to, like don't you ever have, like, the little wish of wanting to be back to, like, a minimum wage, lowest tier worker kinda job?" And I was like, "No." Apparently she does. Every once in a while, she'll think that it would be nice to, like, be working, like, retail or as a cashier again. And I'm like, "I never wanna go back to that, thank you very much." Literally, "No, not really. No." It seemed like she was doing some thinking about her life, so I didn't tell her straight up no. I just went, not really." Just let her vent a little bit. But no, no, I don't think I ever wanna go back to that. Because you know how some lottery winners, like, if they win the lottery, money can't buy fulfillment. So some lottery winners, like, they will go back to work or they'll find, like, just a really simple job to keep, which I support, but I don't think I would be able to do, like, cashier or anything like that. There's a reason why I left that. That's, of course, not to rag on people who are lifelong service workers, especially the ones who are able who do it for a long time and do it very well, but that could never be me. You know how iPhone gives you if you have an iPhone, iPhone gives you your battery health? I'm pretty sure my battery health is at like 50% already. My social battery health, I mean. Uh-oh. Is my mouse running out of battery again? Did I even change the battery? I think I changed it. Imagine you can just see your own social battery health. What you had as a kid is 100% of your battery health. And as you get older, your battery health, your social battery depreciates. Is that a good word? Depletes? Oh, my music's gone. I just realized. Okay. Okay. What is my chair stuck? Oh, that would have been bad. Hold up. My chair's stuck on something. There we go. Cookie plate. Oh, I brought some blueberries in for my coworkers today. And I got I was actually kind of I somehow ended up overprotective of my blueberries. I was kind of I was watching to make sure that people were enjoying my blueberries. All right, good night, Sirei. Thanks for being here. Rest well. But yes, it was really funny because I brought in blueberries. I was very proud of these blueberries. Were they the biggest blueberries in the world? No. But I was very proud of them. So I put them on the table in the staff lounge area, and I basically wrote a mass email to my coworkers like, hey, fresh blueberries, enjoy! And then, of course, like 10 minutes later, my manager walks in and decides to show me up by going like, hey, I brought in some homemade zucchini chocolate bread. And I was like, really? Really? Of course, I didn't say that to her face. But I was like, really? You're going to do this to me? My poor blueberries. How are they going to compete with fresh homemade zucchini chocolate bread? Especially since I was walking by the blueberries and the bread, and I saw someone taking the bread instead of the blueberries, and they looked at me and they were like, haha, going for dessert first. And then I was like, yeah, enjoy. And then what happened? So every once in a while, I would just go by and I would take some of my own blueberries. If no one's gonna appreciate these blueberries, I will. And then when someone finally took some blueberries, and they were delicious as I knew they would. And they emailed me back going like, thanks for the blueberries. They were scrumptious. I was like, yes. I felt like a proud parent. I was giving my sister live updates. And then someone else mentioned, thanks for the blueberries. I was like, oh, finally, people are appreciating my blueberries. I don't have to cut any of them out of my professional friendship. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Now I am slightly stuck. Where do I go from here? This. Oh, this is done. Why didn't I cross that out? Because I was not paying attention. One, two, three. Nice. Two. Okay, nice. Yay! Okay. I'm actually really excited for dinner tonight. Mainly because my dad basically bought one of my favorite takeouts. I was supposed to eat it after work today. Unfortunately, I didn't realize he was buying takeout. So as soon as I got home from work, I immediately made myself some scrambled eggs because I was very hungry. And of course, the moment I finished eating those scrambled eggs, my dad rocks in with my favorite takeout. Because of course, that's just my luck. It's Portuguese baked chicken and rice. It's so good. I just hope my sisters haven't taken it all. Or my brother. Because we all love it. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? I don't remember the next part of the rhyme. Five, 6, 7, 8. Something, 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 something. One. There we go. What is that? Bedding floor. Oh, I thought this was like you know the ceiling that's sometimes on top of parking garages? The really weird texture-y, but now that they're saying it's bedding, that makes sense. I wouldn't mind having a mouse for a pet. I don't think my parents would like it very much, though. Oh, nice. Okay, so this one goes complete. Perfect. Perfecto. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. Ooh, maybe. Yes. I hear that Demons of the Shadow Realm or Shadows of the Demon Realm, whichever one it was, is supposed to finish in September. Maybe I'll start watching it in September after it ends. If that's true, because September is coming up. I wonder how many episodes it's gonna be. I don't even know what episode they're at right now. Three? Four, 8, 12, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm so close. I can feel it in my soul. I found out today that the singer of Inuyasha's Change the World. I want to change the world. That one actually sings Superpowers by for One Piece. That was a shock to the system, considering how many years apart it is. It's good to know that some of these groups are doing well. I feel like V6, there was like something about them, something scandal, something, but hopefully they're still making music. Hopefully. Ooh boy, yay! Oh, that's actually a really cute cap. I look so bad in hats. I think it's because my ears don't go anywhere. Haha. Alright. Alrighty. Let me finish dressing myself up and then... Actually, that's kind of cute. Wait, this is actually kind of really cute. Not the cardboard box. Oh my god, and she was a princess! Oh, this is really cute. Maybe not the fruit. Oh, the little bagel? No. No. I think I'll go with a chef look today. There we go. That's cute. All right. Now, I think looking Gouda, that's good. All right. I think I'm going to end stream here. I'm going to go eat my very, very yummy takeout. I'm so hungry right now. Knowing that takeout is sitting there downstairs. So I'm going to end stream here. It was a good yap session as usual. I hope... I'm thinking of streaming Cookie Run this week. I don't know if it's going to be the like Cookie Run Kingdom or if I should play the new Cookie Run Crumble. But I'll be streaming again this week. I'll find time to, even if I don't. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, good rest of your night. I'll see you guys for another stream. Bye-bye.